Early in the moment, totally devoted. Welcome back to the Goat Pod. If you're still here, we're on episode 5 now. That's kind of crazy. 4? We're on 4. Oh, man, we just been recording so much. I swear it's crazy. We have a very, very special guest here. We got another makeup icon, Mrs. Bianca Patat. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Doesn't she look amazing, guys?
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic.
You look amazing. Look at the sweater.
You know what
Love
it is.
The chains.
Takes one to know one goat to another.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I was very, very excited, not only to talk business, and we'll have some things mingling over here. You good, G? Yeah. All right. We have some things mingling here behind the scenes, but also I want to, have some tea with you today.
Okay.
It's tea time. It's
tea time or some coffee time.
That's right. We'll coffee, whatever floats your boat. Hello.
Exactly.
Hi.
Always got to have
Compliments of Bianca. Thank you so much. Appreciate you picking that up. So, do you watch the show?
Always.
Oh, so you know what's going on with me?
Yes.
All right, cool. So I want to ask your opinion on some of the stuff that we've been talking about. Okay. First question is, as a 31-year-old man, how young is too young for me to ask out on a date?
Okay. Obviously over 18.
Okay, of course.
Obviously.
Of course,
But-
of course, of course.
Realistically, 31, I feel like you can't go too young because then it's like two different generations kind of combining, and everyone has like, I feel like the younger generation's like all like Snapchat and like,
Sure.
But like the older generation like wants to talk on the phone, like wants to text all day, FaceTime, but like everyone else just wants to like text. So I feel like there's like a lot of differences. So
Sure.
I feel like the youngest I would do for you, probably like 25, 26.
25, 26?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You got anybody in mind for me?
Oh, I got a list.
Ooh, we'll talk after the show. We'll talk after the show. So a quick update on the younger girl that we talked about. Also didn't like me. We're 3 for 3, G.
Oh man.
We're 3 for 3. B, what do you think, man? You think I need to chill?
I mean, she threw that bestie out there.
I know. That's
Listen, sometimes girls just want to be friends. Like every girl
with me. With me.
I feel like every girl needs like their guy best friend, but like
yes,
yours is like perfect for that.
I would love to be that for all of you girls.
Yep.
All
you're
of
just
you.
like so easy to talk to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
you're
great.
Real. So
Good
I
to
don't
know.
I feel like that's
good,
how it just
good to know. It's funny that you talked about Snapchat because that does lead me to my next question. I want to talk to you about red flags.
Okay.
All right. So I've had this conversation with some guys of different ages, some of them in their 30s, some of them in their 20s, some of them in high school, right?
Okay.
Is there a Snap score that's a little bit suspicious? Because I've seen Snap scores in the 50 range. I've seen them in the 100 range. I've seen them in the 250 range. I've seen them in the 3 million range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, see, that's hard for me because I've had my Snapchat since like when it came out. What was it like when I was in like high school? So,
Do you know your Snap score?
no, and I'm scared to look. I know it's high.
Can we figure it out? Pull out your phone.
Oh my gosh. He's going to do me like that. He really is.
We were facts only over here, guys. We keep it fictional.
Man.
Where we at?
Wait,
Listen,
guess.
okay.
Go ahead and guess.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Well, the way you're talking, I'm going to say it's at like 350.
Well, I think way more.
Way more? More than that?
I'm like embarrassed he guessed that.
Is that what it is?
No.
What is it?
It's 650.
Oh my gosh. You guys snap so much.
You know, Snapchat's my favorite app.
That's insane.
I love to do like my hauls and like my tutorials.
Right. Well,
Like-
obviously for you, it's obviously not a red flag. You've, notoriously been in a relationship for a very long time. However, for single girls, it's just, it might be a red flag. I don't know.
I don't know why you just never come to my mind to like check a Snap score.
Right.
I know I've had some friends like they'll snap a guy and if he doesn't respond, they'll check his Snap score to see if like he's been snapping and like is he leaving her on red? Is he, like
There's something there's something to it.
something to it.
Okay.
So that's the only time I've actually like thought of a Snap score.
So it's not necessarily a red flag, but it's something that is monitored by both men and women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
It does lead me to another potential red flag.
Okay.
All right. Now I know how G feels about this because we kind of talked about this on air and off air, but when a girl has a visco, is that a red flag? Yes or no?
That's a hard one. Okay, you know what? I think it depends on what's being posted.
Okay.
So I feel like if it's like, I don't know, like sexual pictures, like of them like being revealing, stuff like that, I feel like then it's a red flag because it's like, oh, they'll post it here, but they don't want to post it on Instagram to like have it really public.
Let me get one of those, G. Come on, G. That's not what I want, G.
No.
Give it back, G. Not that either. Come on, G.
Appreciate it.
Thank
There we
you.
go.
I really, really do. And I really, really do. Okay, my opinion is a red flag. I ain't gonna lie. It's something that you're trying to keep. You're trying to keep it on the low.
Yeah. It's like what people don't want to post on Instagram, they'll post there.
Right.
Like
And
I
it's
used
not
to
always
have
kosher.
one. I used to have one before,
Yeah.
but I used to post like my stupid like artsy pictures.
Sure,
like I
sure,
love
sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then it's not a red flag.
Yeah.
But if it's like them and I don't know.
All right, we'll see how many of you guys delete your Viscos or
Yeah, right.
or maybe
after
upload
this.
or maybe
upload on my Instagram
Yeah.
to not seem sus.
Yeah, or like just like everyone will probably band together and just like we're all having Viscos.
Or
It's
like
not
they'll
it's
start
not a
going
red
through
flag.
and deleting
Yeah,
so they don't seem too sus.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, as someone that has said that you do watch the show, do you have
Mm-hmm.
any questions for me?
Questions for you.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually do.
What's
I
up?
want to know what you look for in a girl because I'm hearing these stories about girls and like
Yeah,
friend
yeah.
zoning, but I just want to know what your type is.
Wow, that's such a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And G asks me kind of that all the time. For me, like I'm looking for someone open-minded. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I don't do something that's very traditional in terms of what I do for work.
Yeah.
I have very big dreams. I
love
want
it,
to
though.
I want to be able to accomplish all of them, and I want someone who's willing to believe and stand by my side when everybody doubts, and they will.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll hear bad recommendations from everyone around you, but if you take the time to get to know me, you'll know that I'll do anything for the person I love, and that's just the truth.
But you
So,
know what? I feel
have
like anyone who
references if
knows you knows
everyone
that
will know
though.
Yeah, well, a lot of times, a lot of girls don't take the time to get to know me. So, I have
Yeah.
I have a saying which is like, there's probably out of like maybe 30 girls, 28 will be like, no, they're straight. But that 29th and 30th one, they'll see the good, and we'll spend time together and we'll
Yeah.
really develop something. But it takes a while.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's like that with anyone though. Like, you meet a lot of people and like sometimes you'll vibe for a second and realize like, oh, they're not for me.
Yeah.
But
Actually, I was probably going to save this for a future episode, but there's something I want to address. Okay.
Okay.
Since we're talking
Let's
about
hear
it.
it.
Since we're talking about it. Okay. I get a lot of, and one of my cousins this week, she kind of said something about like, dude, why are you asking these girls out? And there's so many, and you're just, whatever, you're putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that looked at like a bad thing? Okay. Because the way I see it is if I'm asking a lot of girls out and if I want to get to know a lot of girls out, doesn't that mean that I see the beauty in most women? If you think about it that way.
you know what? Yeah. I
Like,
can see how
like seriously, like I'm actually, rather than me being picky and be like, oh, she's A or she's B or she's C or she's D, I'm actually saying like, okay, but actually she has this, which is really nice, and she's have this advantage, or she's this and this and that.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, the only difference between, I'm not telling these girls I want to marry all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, all I'm saying is I want to get to know them because I see all this good in them. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing that I see the beauty in most people.
Yeah. I love that too because I'll have like my guy friends are like, oh, I like this girl, but this. And it's like one thing. And I'm like, why are you going to take that one thing and just shut it down completely?
Yeah.
But versus you.
I mean, I'm more open. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I've been referred to women that I've said, like I'm not interested, and obviously the other way around is more likely than not. But to me, there's nothing wrong with having interest, and obviously I'm super respectful. My intentions, 9 times out of 10 are good. You know what I mean? There might be that 10th time, but there's 9 times out of the 10 they're good. I promise you.
They better be. Don't play with me now.
Tea and coffee.
Tea and
Hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look, if you don't like us, if you don't subscribe to us, if you don't follow us, if you don't do any of that, you better start right now. All right?
Exactly.
We got to get into the episode because it is a long one with Jenna from the challenge with her husband, Zach. We're super excited to have them on. Is there anything else you want to say before we get going tonight?
No. Just be ready for everything else that Go has.
We got some good stuff coming. We got some good stuff coming. We love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support, and we'll lay up. Early in the morning, totally devoted. Man, God loves us. God loves us. When I say us, I'm talking about me and Mr. Zach Nichols. We are blessed with the presence of Mrs. Jenna Compono. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks. That was so nice.
It's so amazing to have you here. As we all know, you're the biggest superstar on this couch. Everybody loves you. It's very obvious from all the comments and all the fanfare. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, of course.
I really appreciate it. So, Jenna, as you know, we talked about you a little bit on the previous show. I talked about your baking skills, but Zach told me that you really prefer to cook more. Is that right?
Yeah, the baking, it never comes out pretty. It's just a lot more
It
patience.
comes out tasty.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's all that matters.
To me, it does because I'm eating it. But for you, you enjoy to cook more. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Ooh, that's hard. Anything with like pasta. I know that sounds easy, but like sauces are good.
Italian likes to cook pasta.
Or like chicken parm.
Zach, what's your favorite thing to eat?
That Jenna cooks?
Yeah.
She makes fantastic chicken parm. She actually does
You're gonna talk about the garlic bread?
gnocchi pesto. Pesto
Yeah.
with chicken. That's really good.
With
she
the
makes,
broccoli.
Yeah, broccoli's in there. And then she has another, like she makes really good garlic bread, homemade.
I know it doesn't sound like a skill garlic
no.
bread, but there's a good recipe behind it.
There's got to be an art to it, and it's a perfect segue because for me, I definitely want to talk about home life here in Michigan, but I want to talk about your origins because you are an authentic Italian, correct?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about where you're from, your origins, and growing up Italian in New York.
Oh, man. Okay. So, I mean, I come from a big family. I'm one of 6. I grew up in New York my whole life, Long Island. My dad's very Italian, so we kept like the traditions going. We always had pastas on Sunday, homemade sauces.
Tell them
The
about
sauces.
Christmas.
The sauces.
Tell them about Christmas morning.
My mom makes lasagna.
Before I do.
I don't even know if that's a thing, but my mom makes lasagna on Christmas morning at like 7 a.m.
The lasagna in the morning.
She sets it though. That thing is, first of
It's
all,
like this thick.
yeah, it's a 10-inch lasagna.
I'm in love with her.
She fires that thing up at 3 a.m. and by 9 it's like semi-warm in the middle.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
still needs.
So big, yeah.
But we've been doing that for. I don't even like lasagna, but she like always made that since we were like born. I don't know why. I don't
But it
think it's
just
a
feels
thing.
like home, and
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So-
amazing.
It's like, dude, Garfield lasagna. Like,
It is really thick. I don't know.
They always say like those luxurious cakes, like, oh yeah, I got a 10-layer cake. Like, try my 10-layer lasagna, please.
Yeah.
literally.
On Christmas.
It's huge.
Oh my gosh, that
No,
sounds
no,
unbelievable.
Christmas morning.
Yeah,
Like,
no, really. And all my
no,
family's
like opening presents. Does anyone want some lasagna?
yeah, like the first
All
time
right.
you came, you're like, lasagna. It's 8 a.m.
I could get used to that. So you said
Yeah.
you have 5 siblings. There's 6 of you guys.
Yes.
So it makes sense because I'm sure a lot of you have significant +1, +2, 3, 4 for you guys, right?
Yep.
So she's got to make for everybody. That's just how the mama, the grandma does it.
Right.
How is it for you to be a mom, which, as we all know, watching you guys over the years, for you, that's definitely been a life goal and a dream for you, especially
yeah.
with this hunk over here.
Oh, yeah.
So we're so happy for you. How is motherhood?
I love it. I mean, Liliana's not even 4 months yet. I'm like, can we go for another one? He's like, oh my God.
Well, we talked a little bit on air about your origins of how you guys got together.
Yeah.
And I know you probably don't mind trying. You guys are beautiful people, man. I'm not going to lie.
That's the best part.
Well, not even, because it happens the first time every time. He's like, oh, it's so quick. Every
yeah,
time.
tell them that story.
What? No.
When the first time you came, well, not that one, but the first time you told me you were pregnant, what I said.
He went, what'd you say? Like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah, so.
I'm like, oh.
But it wasn't
I
like.
wanted to record it too. I was like, oh, maybe he'll say something sweet. I'm like, thank God I didn't.
It wasn't even like it was not planned or anything. Like we were like we actually were trying, and day one, she's like, oh, it didn't work. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
9 months to still be a kid or whatever. Or 1 month because, the cycle or whatever. And then 2 days later, she comes in all excited. Like this is talking like 9, 10 a.m. I'm working in my office, and she's like, shows me the stick. I grab it. I'm like, oh, fuck me.
It was literally 2 days later.
Life starts
She goes,
again.
oh, real nice. And I go, I don't know. I just mean there's like a 9-month countdown where I'm not allowed to be a kid anymore.
Right.
But I will say I'm still a kid, and I don't have to do very much.
Yeah, she
Like,
holds it down.
I'll tell you what, the one thing in the world that I couldn't do, because I could do anything, I couldn't be a mom.
No, none of us can. Are you
No.
Wouldn't
joking?
be
No. That is one of the hardest jobs in the world. And I'm very lucky that I don't have to wake up at night to do anything. if she's home, I'm not changing poopy diapers unless like I'm in a really good mood or there's two at the same time. If there's two poopy diapers at the same time, I will do the male poopy diaper.
Right.
Because I know the plumbing better.
Jenna, can you just can you verify this or what?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he'll let me know when they went to the bathroom though. He'll be like, "Oh man, he stinks." So I'm like waiting. Maybe Zach will change him. He's like, "Nah, he really stinks." I'm like, "All right."
Hey, this diaper is disgusting. You might want to get to this one sooner than later. But no, that's the best part about being a dad is you're not the mom.
Yeah, you're not.
You get to do all the fun stuff. You get to do all this see all these awesome things. But like at the same time, everyone's like, "Oh, how are the kids doing? Are they sleeping through the night?" I'm like, I don't know.
Zach's like, I have great night's sleep every single night.
I get my sleep 5 hours. Boom. That's all I need, and it doesn't get interrupted. And except for on Saturdays.
Zach takes his blanket and pillow and goes downstairs on the couch while I'm dealing with two crying, screaming babies.
Dude, I'm the worst.
That's why kids love their mom, and that's why I'm a mama's boy for sure. And that's why your kids will both be mama's boy and girl.
Ah, they better because I'm doing the work.
Speaking of mamas, how is it? I mean, I'm sure you have other nieces and nephews, but for your mother, how is it? Having your kids around her.
Oh, I love it. It's so cute. I mean, they see my mom sees them a lot more than the other ones just because we're closer and everything. But she loves it. She loves being a grandma. She's like, when's the next one?
Right.
Next month, maybe.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
So, Michigan, I know it's not your home, but how have you liked living here for the last couple of years? Mic drop.
It's different. It's a lot calmer. It's quiet. I'm a big family person, but luckily Zach's like super supportive, and I get to go back to New York probably once a month.
Zach also likes to make tea times.
Absolutely.
Which I found out is not girl talk. It's actually golfing.
No, it's actually we're golfing.
Yeah.
We do have guy talk while we golf, but like it's just a lot of meathead stuff.
Right. It's like it's like those memes. It's like those memes where it's like, oh, I wonder what he's doing, and we're just like literally like, man, is it breaking right or is it breaking left?
Yeah, like we're crouching next to our buddy, like, oh, dude, this. Yeah, you gotta definitely.
Do you think if I can make it with my 3-wood? Like,
right.
What do you?
And then we're here thinking you're planning parties with all strippers. We're like, oh, okay.
Nah. Not with him. I save that for some of the other challengers if you guys want to come to Michigan, which we who knows, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. We definitely talked about obviously he's a big family person, which is why he you guys are living here for now,
right.
And God willing, down the road we can all be successful and have a home in both spots, right?
That's the end goal.
Also in Florida.
Oh,
well, my mom wants to get a place in Florida.
I would love to be in Florida in the winter. Wouldn't you? Like when the kids are in college
I want
and
it
gone?
snowing when it's
Christmas. After Christmas, Florida.
After New Year's, boom.
January.
Done. No, Bahamas. We're not going to Florida.
International waters.
I just want to know if it's a group trip. Like,
Of course it is.
Okay, let me come through. I'll take the first, last round, and about 4 or 5 in between. So
a house in the Bahamas.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Dreams, baby, dreams. Well, let's make it happen. So, now that we've kind of got comfortable here, I want to know, since I've heard from Zach, how he made his way onto TV. Tell me about your origin. Tell me about you growing up. Were you ever interested in being an entertainer? Were you ever interested in being a competitor in sports? Tell me about your adolescence and then your high school and college and how you made it onto MTV.
Oh, man. Okay, so high school, I was just a cheerleader, very like bubbly. I was always friends with everybody. I won most likely to be at a tanning salon. Just saying, something to brag about, but whatever.
No,
Maybe
no.
we
But you
need
don't
to get you one of those.
No, you don't get it. If you saw pictures of her from when she was like 16 through 19 or 20.
I was like the color of an orange.
You were looking like this wood back here?
Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore. Poof. Orange.
Oh, yeah.
Gym, tan, laundry. The whole thing.
Oh, it was
Now,
disgusting.
I'm going to interject real quick.
It was hot back then.
I know.
She took me tanning once in New York. And I had gone tanning in Michigan hundreds of times. Did great. 18 minutes, 15 minutes. We go to this tanning booth in New York. Normal tanning booth next to a Chinese food store and a pet store, which is really creepy if you think about it because,
perfect spot.
And we go in there and I'm like, I'll do like 15 minutes. And Jenna's like, you don't want to do 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, what do I want to do? She goes, do like 8. Dude, I did 8 minutes in New York.
I think you got like light poisoning.
And I had literally the bulb marks. I had like burns in the shape of the bulb marks throughout my whole body. And guess what? On my legs, those bulb marks, like it was like There's a bulb here. A
I have
bulb here.
photos. I can send it to you.
Hey, we might.
Eight
G
months.
might have to pull that up.
I got them.
8 months. My legs were literally like those. That's how strong the bulbs were.
Golly.
So I haven't gone tanning
And I
since.
took it like a champ.
Oh, of course, of course. Come out looking like a honey baked ham.
I did glazed. Anyways,
That's
so you were a
hilarious.
cheerleader. You were tanning.
Yes, that's what you were
Yes.
into.
How'd you get on the
Yes.
show?
Loved it. What?
How'd you get on the show?
Then I went to college, community,
All
NASA.
right. Yeah.
Then I left college, didn't graduate, and went on to reality TV. But I never thought about doing it. I was actually dating somebody at the time where I thought I was dating them. According to him, we weren't dating.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So he got casted for Real World, and then they brought me on as an ex. But
Yeah.
I thought I was currently still the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And all the exes were there, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm his current girlfriend. And it turned out
This
to
is
be an extra
Explosion?
show. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so basically, he was already cast to this, and you're like, "Oh, great! Like I get to come on," and then
Yeah,
you
he
found
didn't
out.
know. Yeah. So all the exes
Oh, he
came on,
didn't
and none of
know.
the original cast members knew. So I walk in, and there's a house of all exes, and then we're like, oh, everybody's
Yeah.
an ex. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm the
Yeah.
I'm the girlfriend.
I'll say one thing though. I always need you to come on this show right before you come back from New York because that accent is it's awesome. I swear.
I've been with them so long, so then it dies out again
Yeah.
when I'm here for so long, and then you know what I'm saying.
I
But-
love it. I love it. So essentially,
wait
it
till she
wasn't.
gets angry and yells at you. Then it really.
or if I'm in the car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Road rage. You're like, who is this?
Who drives better, Michigan people or New York people?
So you know what? I have to say, you guys drive. You can drive faster 70, but nobody uses their blinker. Isn't that my biggest pet peeve?
Yeah,
I'm like, look at this asshole. I hate it. I hate it.
You got to go Tony
At least-
Meadow Soprano on them.
At least like New Yorkers, they'll cut you off, but they'll put their blinker on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I know they're
they'll let
cutting
you
me
know.
off. Right.
They'll let you know. They'll let you know. So your process of getting on MTV was a lot easier
easy.
than this guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, you didn't have to do no interviews. You didn't have to do none
No.
of that.
No, I was in a few his name's Jay, so I was in a few of his tryout videos, I guess you'd say. And
Everybody knows his name was Jay.
Okay. Well, I was in his little tryout videos, and they winded up, I guess, she's cute.
Yeah,
Poor
for
girl's
sure.
getting played, and we're gonna embarrass her, but it's fine.
How was your very first experience? Was it what you thought it would be? Was it not what you thought it would be? And I have definitely some challenge related questions,
Yeah.
but tell me about that first on TV experience.
I was nervous at first because I was just like, I don't know anybody. I mean, I only saw Jay on Sunday, so I feel like I barely even knew Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was very weird, but I was also under 21, so I wasn't allowed to
Really?
drink on the show. I was only.
Did they police that
20.
well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They made sure. I mean, people would be like, leave a drink in the bathroom, and I'd chug it. And
Get one of those.
right. And then they let me drink one time, and I took advantage of it and threw up everywhere, and they're like, you're done.
You're done.
Yep,
You're done.
that's it.
It's washed.
But it was nerve wracking at first, I have to say. You're with a bunch of different people you don't know, big personalities, all different kinds, from all over the states. So
Yeah. One thing that we had talked about on our episode was when you joined, it was back when the contestants came from the show,
Right.
and then they became competitors. So for you, I don't know what type of shape you're in because, or you were in because you always performed extremely well. Like, were you always an athlete? Did you ever? I know you said you cheerleaded, but you get in the gym. Like, how were you so good so quick?
did you hear that? He said athlete.
I know you are an athlete.
Show her respect, bro.
No, I
Thank
do.
you.
Here's the thing.
He's like, cheerleading's not a sport, but it is.
No, here, if you throw a football, basketball, or a baseball at Jenna,
Oh.
she's gonna duck.
I
But
might catch the football. It's kind
if
of
you
easy.
throw a pacifier or a bottle at her, she'll catch it behind her back. She'll catch it with
Under
her
my
eyes
leg.
closed. Yeah, it's like as soon as she had Anthony and she'd be like, "Here, throw me that the pacifier."
I'll be, like, bouncing him and-
Yeah, we'll call it a
Yeah.
binky, and she'll just like grab it out of midair, and then she'll be like,
I do.
and now,
I
but
get
here's the
so
thing:
impressed.
she's probably done it now 150,000 times since he's been born because we're always throwing stuff back and forth.
Yeah.
Every single time she's like.
Yeah, and
I'm like, but here's
I'm
the
so
thing:
surprised.
if you threw a basketball at her, she would move out of the way of it.
it's her
So-
calling. Motherhood's her calling.
Right,
you.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I do like to jump around, and since we are talking about the kids, I want to know your kids' personalities from your perspective.
Oh man, Anthony is like an asshole. I'm not gonna lie. He is. He's a complete
Is he,
boy.
is he a New York boy or a Michigan boy at heart?
I think he's a New York boy. I think Liliana's more Michigan. A little more mellow, doesn't smile as much.
Oh, she never smiles.
No. And
Not
she
yet,
looks
not
like
yet,
his
not
mom,
yet.
which is so funny.
Yeah, she looks like a spitting image of my mom when my mom was a baby.
Oh my gosh, man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's cute.
But Anthony's a wild man too.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, the term dense is so awesome.
he's
and,
dense.
And when he goes to these trampoline parks, it seems like he's fearless.
Oh yeah, he jumps off things and like I'll walk in and he's smacking his head on the couch like a bunch of times. I'm like,
Yeah, it's crazy because I went back and looked at some stuff and it reminds me of the and we'll talk about it down the road. But
Yeah.
the maze where you got hurt, it's like mother, like son.
right.
He's
But
just
he doesn't
jumping
get
around
hurt.
everywhere.
Oh yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome, man. So
He's
so
nuts.
cool to see.
Yeah.
So we moved a little quick, so I want to kind of get into some of these challenge style questions, if that's cool. So one thing that we had asked Zach last week, and I want to ask you, who are your starting 5 of challengers in their prime? So you get 5 challengers, and you can definitely put yourself in there. Who is your top 5 challengers of all time?
I'm not gonna say you.
Okay.
Because that wastes a finger. So we definitely know you.
Okay.
She
But
just
I'm
wants me
gonna
to feel good
say from
myself.
people that I've met
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm-
people that you've competed with and against, right?
at their prime.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have to be boy and girl?
No, whoever you want. If you want to do all
Okay.
girls, all guys, whatever you want to do.
I already told her the ones I picked.
Yeah,
but she
I'm not
should
gonna do
know
you
that.
and I'm not gonna do me. So I'm gonna do CT. I'm gonna
Obviously.
do
That's a given.
I think I do Johnny. I do Laurel.
That reaction on Johnny. And we were talking about it. Me and some of my cousins were talking about it. Johnny.
Yeah.
I mean, he has rings. You know?
No, for sure.
Oh yeah, I'd want to be his partner. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe not right now because everyone like cool thing is to get Johnny out. I feel like now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess back in the day, it was
Yeah.
so cool to be cool with Johnny.
He's an athlete. He trains. He knows how
Oh,
to
yeah.
play. And now he's got a target on his back. But
His
he's
social,
he's in the conversation.
Game, it's
Yeah.
his social game that's so good. Like he does everything well, but like he's not a home run hitter in any sense. But his social game is really good.
Well, he's talking about at his prime.
No, oh yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
also,
and you're still
too-
going, by the way.
Well,
You
I
have
know,
two.
but also too, anytime he leaves the show, it's like so boring. I feel like. True.
he is a party starter for sure.
And
Yeah.
it's just like fun. He's such a fun guy. I
Yeah.
personally like
couple
Johnny.
times he got he got involved in you guys and just saying a couple comments here and
Oh,
there
yeah.
just to rile it up.
But I think he's awesome. But all right, so that's 4, right? Or 3?
That was
Yeah, you got CT and Johnny. You said who else?
I do Laurel.
Laurel, that's right.
I probably do Brad and even Derek.
Brad and Derek. Okay,
Yeah.
before
That's
Jordan.
solid.
Oh, Jordan.
You
No.
gotta
Who
take
kicking
one of
out?
those
You guys
two
take
out.
one out. You gotta take out.
Okay.
I know
well,
who you're gonna take out,
Who
but
am I gonna take out?
you can take out Brad.
Brad's legit though.
He
Brad is
is. He's
legit.
tough, but like he's not on their level.
Here's the thing though. Brad is tough. He can swim. The only thing Brad can't do very well is eat.
Yeah.
And that's
But
why
I can't eat either.
and
So
that's why-
I need an eater. So I'm gonna. Okay, you're
see,
right.
but
Jordan.
CT can eat anything.
Well, that's why he was number
Yeah.
1.
CT will literally eat the skull off of a live animal and then eat the brain and then work his way down the spinal cord. And it will have zero issue doing it.
He's
he
a
doesn't even
psychopath
have-
in the good way.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
even have to eat the spinal cord. He just will.
Right.
And no shade to Brad. Brad, if I look up the word badass in the dictionary, your picture's right there. That's
Oh,
not
no.
what I'm saying,
Right.
But it's just in terms of challengers,
Right. And I didn't know he can't eat. So unfortunately, love Brad, but I'm going to take him out and trade him for Jordan. I
right.
totally forgot about Jordan.
Yeah, and Derek's a beast too.
Oh, yeah.
Laurel, I forgot to mention it. She's from Michigan, isn't she?
Yeah, Birmingham.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Michigan is repped hard on the challenge.
Leroy's
Wow.
from Southfield.
And then
Avery was Avery was
Corey.
from Michigan. Corey was from
Corey.
Grand Rapids.
come on now. Come
Yeah.
on now.
There's not many people representing the West Side.
it's crazy.
G-Rap.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
why-
technically, again, you guys are still East, but it's fine.
What?
You guys are still East Coast.
Oh, we're saying the West Side of Michigan.
Yeah, no,
The
we'll
glove
take. Listen,
from Michigan.
I'm down. I'll rep East Coast. I love the East Coast. I just went to Jersey last week. And it's like I just love that. Like once you're in that area, you're like 2 hours from everything. It's insane.
Oh, it's the greatest.
It's the
Wait,
baddest.
Yeah.
So I know your answer, but are you East Coast or West Coast? You got to pick.
For what?
Like
Just
where
in
you live?
general. In general.
Your soul
mean,
or where you
Everything.
live?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into it. You got to pick the rap that you like. You got to pick the food that you like. You got to pick all the things that you like. Are you East Coast or West Coast?
Okay, I'm definitely East Coast because my Lions, my Pistons, I have to be over here, bro. I have to be
food.
over here. Yeah, Miami. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I'm
So the-
saying?
Okay. So the one thing I'll
I
say
have
about
to be.
East Coast people are fans of whatever, whether the team is good, bad, whatever, they're fans. Like you are with Detroit sports. West Coast people are like, oh, they're not good. Whatever. East Coast people, they go hard.
Yeah,
They're
we're
fans.
diehard.
But that's fun. Like you go to a game, you have diehard fans. That's fun.
It's the best.
I don't want to be a diehard fan of the Detroit Lions when they're losing.
Dude, you have to, because it makes this time where we're surging that much more fun.
I already can't hop on that bandwagon because I've been off it for so long. So I can, if the
We'll bring you
I
back.
want the Lions to be good, but I will never say that I'm a Lions fan.
It never. We're gonna work on them, guys. We're gonna work on them.
Okay, I liked Barry Sanders, but I'm not a fan of the Lions.
Would you say you're a fan of any NFL team?
That's
If the answer is no, then you're a Lions fan by default.
okay.
So now he's gonna find one that he
No,
likes.
so if I had to pick a team that I really like, I became very, very, very partial to the Green Bay Packers from college because I was in the UP. Everyone liked
enough.
the Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers. I liked Clay Matthews. So, and I actually was recruited and played for Matt LaFleur.
Really?
For one
At Central?
for one season at Northern.
Oh, at Northern.
Yep, and then he exploded.
Yeah.
I did not in football. So So
But
I
isn't
like
that
the
insane?
Packers.
Like I love that story because it really proves how our origins and what they can do. You can come from anywhere and be anything. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool. You know, it's so cool. So, great answer with the starting five. Let's do this. So, I asked Zach last week who's the most underrated challenger. He gave me a couple. I want to know from your female perspective, who is the most underrated female challenger of all time? And if you do say you, which you can just give me an honorable mention for somebody else.
I don't think me. But
I would say you're in the running, and we'll talk
Thank
about
you.
that later.
okay. We talked about it on the way here and why not I was. But that's hard. I'd probably, and I'm not just saying it because it's my friend, but I'm going to say probably Nani because she is so diehard about everything. Like, she gives it her all every time. She, like, is so focused every single time. And it's just like she hasn't got her win yet. And I feel like she really needs it.
Yeah.
And she's just my favorite all
Yeah,
around
and
human.
I said it in that episode. Everyone that I know here, that we watch and we, we root. We're all Team Nani.
Oh, yeah, she's the greatest. And she really does. Like, she's never, like, you'd probably pick her for one of the girls on your team.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, she,
Yeah.
like, gives it her all every single time. And,
Yeah.
like, she's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nani, go get one, girl. We want you to. And he said it so well last week, which is like the more you do, the better you get. And it's undeniable her progression in this game. You
Oh,
know
for
what I
sure.
mean? Now, like, girls really are scared of her. When
Yeah.
before it was just like, nobody's worried about Nani. But now, like, they're checking for her,
I mean, funny story. I never seen the show when I first went on it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch Free Agents, I think it was. And I remember seeing Nani on it. And I was like, oh, she's crazy. I'm not going to be friends with her. Like, stay away from her. Then I'm best friends with her.
Yeah.
10 years later. It's
How
so
did that
crazy.
happen?
I don't know. We just roomed together. She was just like nice. She like was kind of the same person as me, a little more fiery, obviously,
Yeah.
but she was like the same person. So she
Yeah,
was great.
and it's definitely like a real recognized real situation. I feel like.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like I know for me and Zach, like we have different backgrounds, even though we come from the same place, we're totally different. But just the realness of each other, you just vibe with that, and like I
Yeah.
definitely feel that between you and Nani.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah.
That leads me to my next question, which I'm going to skip around a little bit.
Yeah, good.
So tell me why I should be a Kayla fan.
Are you not?
I have my opinions.
Wait, so here's my question. Do you think that a lot of people have negative feelings towards Kayla?
Do I?
Do you think a lot of people who watch the show have negative feelings about Kayla? Because you look at it from like, so we know her at like, outside of it, so we kind of have the full picture of it.
Yeah, I'm
but
curious.
Like, what do people think of her that don't know her?
So I represent a small group of people that watch and talk about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Kayla is clearly a good friend to you, which
Oh,
I
yeah, she's
respect.
great.
You know what I mean? Which I respect. But I don't want to.
Don't beat around the bush.
Don't
Let's hear
say
it.
it. Say it.
Just say
Kayla
it.
won't care.
You gotta be true to your people, and you gotta like be on point about the game. I think in the game, like sometimes you could be a little bit more loyal, and sometimes you can be a little bit more, committed to some certain people. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so now I'm gonna say she has been loyal to me.
I know that. I know
Right.
that.
So I think her outside friends and people that she's actually gonna care about when she leaves the house.
Yeah.
She'll have your back till. I mean, she's almost like got thrown in because of me sometimes, and she doesn't care.
Yeah.
But anybody else, it's like, you know, is she going to talk to them outside the house? Is she going to ever split the money with them? Probably not. So what does she owe them? But she would never cross me. She would never cross Nani. You know, Sam, I guess her new, you know, her partner for the last one. So I get where people are coming from, but I really don't see the hatred for Kayla. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I honestly don't either.
Yeah.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Like she's me, but brunette.
I would love to talk to her and bring her on the show. But,
she'd love it.
But look, like I said, I'm not like the door's not closed like how it is on Devin. Which, by the way, everybody in the comments, literally everyone loves Devin. I'm insane. Like, are you guys serious? Like, you guys really love him like that? And everybody does. So it wasn't like that where like you're just not gonna change my mind. Maybe if he comes here, he will. But you know, I'm open to Kayla because I trust your character, and your judge of character. So,
and I lived with her outside for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't even want to live with you outside for 2 weeks.
But you have
when
outside of the show for two weeks?
Outside, like of a house.
Like outside,
in Thailand,
like camping.
I lived like camping.
Oh, that's right. You camped with her. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
For
crazy.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
It was
no, I don't want to camp with you.
No, that's what I'm saying, and
That
that's the
sounds
only
like
person I
hell.
could stand.
Yeah, that's
I
wild.
wouldn't want to camp with you at all.
I hope I get that opportunity and we're able to grow and have some great people on the show. So thank you for answering that question. Okay, great. So, I mean, I know your opinion on this, but is Nani ever going to win a challenge?
I hope so.
If I was her partner, she would have won.
If anyone was your partner, they would win.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
No, I would have gotten Nani that win. 100%.
I feel like if you are a girl and you're partnered up with one of the stronger guys like you
always have a chance.
Exactly.
Yeah, you always have a
Exactly.
chance.
These girls can be like, oh, so strong, we did so good. No, it's because of your partner.
Time out.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Including myself.
If you look
Like
at you look at that final, you put me in there instead of Johnny, me and Nani win. We beat all of them, hands down.
I'm saying maybe you would have. I'm just saying a lot of people can get to finals if they have a strong
For sure.
guy.
No, 100%.
What was the one part of the final where they had an advantage and they just didn't take advantage of it?
In that one necessarily? See, here's the thing. They didn't make a terrible mistake until the very end on that puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that I would have done that puzzle more methodically.
Why you're
than
good
they
at
did.
puzzles?
Not many puzzles, but I would have been able to do that one. Because I looked at it and I was like, oh, I get this one. I like this one.
But you're also not under
I also
pressure.
didn't do 100 hours of whatever.
Right.
But also, I want to say that final seemed like it had a lot of like sitting around. And
See, I
that's
didn't see
fine.
that one,
And that's
so.
that's totally fine. Every final's different, but that final, I think I could have been good at because they also weren't, at 400,000 feet
Yeah.
of
There's a little
elevation.
more.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a little more resting in this one.
There was a
you
lot
think?
more wrestling. It was more. I think this one was more just like I don't know. I just didn't think it was as. It was longer and very mentally straining, but like some of the ones that I think that you've done and I've done were more physically straining.
Yeah.
But
Well,
no, anyways, yeah. Nani will get one someday if she keeps doing it.
I think she will.
speaking of Nani, I know she was a participant in your wedding. Talk
Yes.
about your wedding, guys. I don't think you guys really
Which
talked
one?
about it too much.
Which
We
one?
did. We had two.
Yeah.
A lot of people get married twice.
Yeah. A lot of people we
The
know.
only way to do it. The one that Bennett was at. That's the one I want to know about because
It was a rager.
yeah, I heard that one was really fun.
That
It
one,
was really fun. I mean, I even drank so much. I didn't remember cutting the cake. I was like mortified. I was like, we didn't cut the cake. That was like the most gorgeous part.
Right.
He's like, we did cut the cake. I look back to the video. I'm like, my eyes are like cross-eyed. I'm like, oh,
All that means is you had fun, and that's what the video's for.
right, exactly. I'm like, I don't want to watch it.
that was a
Not yet.
But it was
that was a wild wedding. I had people come up to me that were like, normally I leave the weddings I go to like, after dinner, but man, I stayed the whole time at this one. And I was like, well, that means it was a good wedding.
Yeah,
'cause-
y'all boogied down all night, and Bennett, our mutual friend, he let me know that like Nani had brought Casey.
Oh, yeah.
and I thought it was like he thought it was like so cool that she just like joined like the guys group and like rode
Oh,
the
yeah.
bus with the guys and like
Oh, yeah.
Casey can hang, man. Tell me about Casey a little bit.
I love. Did you? Oh, you did meet her.
Yeah,
Obviously, at the wedding.
I got on the bus. She's like, hey, Zach, what's up? I'm like, oh, shit. I forgot you were here. Yeah, no. That was the first time I met her.
Oh,
she's
I
so-
didn't know that.
I had nothing, can't say a bad thing about her because she was obviously like just really nice.
Yeah,
and
holding it
friendly
down.
and got along with everyone and, smooth sailing.
She's
Yeah.
like perfect for Nani. I have to say.
Well, wait,
She needed.
she did get a little bit mad about your cousin doing the whole thingamajig on Nani, right?
What cousin?
Remember when
While somebody was hitting on Nani?
Now we shot the thing.
Oh, we did old school and we threw the garter.
Yeah,
and
we did the
stuff.
garter.
So Nani got the garter up her leg.
Yeah.
And I don't remember.
Yeah, and I think Casey got a little jealous that Nani, your cousin, was putting the garter on Nani's leg.
As my cousin's getting nervous because his fiance staring at him, so everyone's
But his
just like,
fiance was like, "Do it."
Yeah.
All about it.
yeah.
Well, Nani can have fun. Casey, you got to have some fun too, girl. It's all fun and games.
Oh yeah, she's great too. She used to like hoard me snacks on the show.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
I love that. Okay, so our people, our Chaldean community, we're super close with our family. So, a lot of our cousins are challenge fans, and we talk about it. How was it going through the challenge experience with your cousin, and what made you choose Brianna, right?
Yes.
All right.
So I at first wanted to do Tony Ann, but she was under 21 and they were not having it. They wanted her so bad. They tried and tried, but she would have been TV gold.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Tony Ann?
She's athletic and just a nut job and like doesn't take shit from anybody.
Perfect combination.
Oh yeah. Like she would tell people off. I'm over here like crying, like totally opposite. But I took Bree and me and Bree have been like so close and we always party together. I thought she was going to be a great time, but she was dating somebody at the time that was like super corny. And he ruined the entire experience for her. She wanted to leave. I was always stressed out. We always got thrown into elimination.
Right.
We were in every single girl elimination. And then we ended up going to the final. Don't know how that happened. We're still so confused about it. But it was hard. It was hard to have a family member there. Whereas if I had my sister, we can like scream at each other and fight. We're like sisters. But
Yeah.
a cousin and stuff, you're bringing somebody on that has no idea about the show or how like everything works
Right.
and everything.
So one thing that I'll say, and when I was looking at your record and some of those things, I really feel like that really tough, like with a lot of elimination style, experience, it really toughens you up, don't you think?
Yeah, that was like when people started being like, oh, okay, Jenna has something to show because she was in like 10 eliminations. So it was
Right.
actually like
You went from
good for
being
me.
the Barbie to being the bad bitch.
Right, exactly.
And like that's
Right.
that's why I always see it. And that's why I say like when we talk about underrated, like, dude, you're like, you're not gonna like this, but LeBron, he was always in the finals. Dude, if you're when you join a season,
Yeah.
there's a 50% chance that you're in a final.
Right.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. No, that's true.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
MTV, are you paying attention? Are you guys paying attention to these two? You're talking about straight every other season these two are in a final. Come on.
Oh yeah, because you've been in a bunch too.
Yeah, I've been in a few. They're
Together.
miserable.
Yeah.
Well,
Finals
like
are
I said, I mean,
miserable.
I would put you up there with any other woman in terms of, not only just being underrated, and I don't even want to say that because that just kind of makes it seem like you're not as highly rated, but that's just to me. And to all you guys thinking that I'm sucking up, I'm just going by straight facts, guys. I'm just going by straight facts. Elimination wins. I'm going by finals appearances. I could suck up, or I could, if these two couldn't perform, I would tell them, guys, like, compared to other people. But no, these people are winners.
I think Jenna has a better elimination record than me.
Yeah, but how many dailies have I won? Maybe one in my whole career.
I have a good slugging percentage.
I'm like a
of
good
dailies.
I person. I don't come in last.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
come in first. I come in like,
No, that's not what the record says. You're at the top.
well, a few.
Speaking of eliminations, one of our YouTube commenters, I'm gonna need you to go look up what his name is. One of our YouTube commenters, he wanted to ask you, Zach, about the Rivals 2 elimination where you got DQ'd.
Well, what did he want to know?
He just said to ask you about it. Can you just give us like a little bit of insight on it? And G's looking up his name so that we can give him a quick shout out. But if you want to talk about it, because honestly, like that's another season where it's like they didn't want to see you.
Wait, you got
George
DQ'd
Fuller?
on a phone.
Jordan Fuller. Jordan, thanks for commenting on the YouTube. Everybody, if you haven't liked, subscribe, share, all that. But yeah, talk to us about that elimination.
Though that was the one where the scaffolding, it was against Leroy and
Break
Ty.
through, breaking
You had to
through,
break
something
through,
like
and
Didn't
so
you cheat?
yeah,
Stop.
I did. So essentially, the rule was you had to break 50%. So I had to do half, he had to do half. So what happened was I'm like, okay, well, the first level was drywall, and I had asked, I'm like, if he hits it first, can then I fall through? And someone was like, yeah, that's fine. So we did that, and I figured, okay, so we both did that one. And then the next one, if you remember, was the chain. Now,
Clip.
he held the chain while I cut it, which is what gave us a huge lead over Leroy and Ty. And so in my head, I was like, okay, we split that one too. So I did half of this one, he did half of this one, and then we both did half of the first one. So then the next one we fall through, and it was glass. He broke through that. Then we went to the final levels, the door. I busted through that. And in my head, it was like we shared the first two. He did the third. I did the fourth.
Yeah.
Boom. But apparently they said because he only stomped on the drywall, that didn't count. But I had specifically asked beforehand, as long as he hits it first, can I? Because here's the thing. If you hit drywall once and then you fall on it, you're going through regardless.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, no, but that was my idea was this is going to be a faster way to get this done than one person stomping on it a million times because I knew if he were to hold the chains for me, here's the other thing. As they were setting it up, you weren't technically supposed to see what they were, but I saw all of them because they had moved things, they were adjusting, and I was like, okay, to cut that chain with those wire cutters, I'm gonna need someone to just hold
Have some slack. Like,
yeah,
cut,
hold the chain flush so that I can cut it easier. And we did. So technically, in my head, I'm like, if he's doing that on the second one with me, then I have to help him on the first one. So in my head, it's still 50%, but I think it was just
Technicality.
And
yeah, and then you
got bounced.
I mean, obviously
Then
you toss a little helmet.
Little heated hit
Yeah,
Frank with a helmet.
you have a crazy memory because I just went back and looked it up just because I was curious and like you're literally explaining it to the T. Like, tell me how you have such a great memory of these challenges.
Well, when you get embarrassed on national television in front of anyone, the entire world can watch. They don't, but it's millions of people. You remember that, and I'll always remember the fact that in my head I'm like I outsmarted the system. And here's the other thing: we could have done it the regular way and still dusted them.
Right.
When we finished, they were still cutting their chain link on the second level. So
you could have done it honestly.
we could have. It wasn't that we didn't. Honestly, I just thought because always like the person that wins the challenge is always the person that thought about it a different way.
And you always ask for
Great point.
forgiveness, not for permission.
Right.
So you just
Exactly. And I thought this is going to get us done way faster than them.
Yeah.
And it did. We smoked them.
Do you think there's any chance at all, that they could have let it slide, but they chose to keep Leroy and Ty?
Well, I won't say anything too far into that regards, but I will say that 2 days before that, I was walking around the house breaking pots and pans and breaking light fixtures because they wouldn't take me to the hospital. Now, in my defense, when I went
hospital visit again.
But when I went home, I had an infection in my elbow, and it was pretty bad. They had to drain it. So I had like a bacterial infection that got into my system through the food, and I wasn't feeling well. And they just told me I had acid reflux disease. Turns out I almost had my arm amputated when I got home. So I was feeling really just bad, and I was like, I need to go to the hospital. And they were like dragging their feet. So I just was like, okay, well, I'll just start breaking things around the house so they have to listen to me.
Right.
So and then before the challenge that I lost that sent me into that elimination round, I had gotten into a argument with a very high up production person and basically told him, fuck off, I'm not scared of you. I'm going to do what I need to do to go to the hospital. Yeah. So that was all 2 days before that elimination round.
Yeah.
So maybe that played into effect. I don't know. But I did have a pretty poor attitude going into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and that's
in my defense,
contributed
though,
to your ferocious performance.
Yes. In my defense, though, when I got home, the doctor was like, hey, 24 hours, if you waited 24 more hours, you wouldn't have an arm after your elbow. So I did have an infection.
Wow.
And I was not feeling good. So it's probably a good thing that I ended up going home.
Wow.
So you broke dishes and you had your temper tantrum and you let them know.
And I got to go to the hospital. And guess what they gave me? Tums.
Unbelievable. And it's honestly crazy the way that life works that way.
But I probably should have gone home because if I wouldn't have gotten the medical attention that I ended up getting, I wouldn't have my arm at the elbow right now.
Yeah. So
That arm?
It was my throwing arm, my right arm. My elbow was like 3 times its normal size.
Yeah, the same arm that you chucked that helmet with. Right?
Yeah. My dad was like, "Hey, you should probably go to the hospital." And he never says go to the hospital, but it was like purple.
Nah, bro, you're tough. So you're not gonna ask to go if you don't have to. So obviously it must have been crazy. So yeah. Good job.
Do I think that played a part into that decision?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, appreciate sharing that experience about you and your cousin. Let me ask you this: were either of you fans of the challenge before joining the show? And I think you had mentioned something about it, but
Right.
yeah, did you know about it? Were you fans before you joined?
I literally had no idea. I never watched reality TV. Like, I always heard of Real World. I'm like, oh, that's still on.
Except for Jersey Shore.
Right, Jersey Shore. I watched every single
Religiously.
episode. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I never heard of the challenge. I watched it. I'm like, I already signed up. Whatever. I already got accepted. I'm like, oh, what did I get accepted to? So I was a little nervous, but no, I never saw it. So it actually was a little bit easier going into, and I feel like I was able to do more of the challenges like worry free because I'm like, oh, I don't know how it feels to fall into the water, or I don't know, you know, any of that. So it actually made me, I feel like, a little bit better.
Sure.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah, totally. And you weren't worried about the depths or the this or the that. You're like, hey, they're doing it. I can do it too.
Right. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on, you know, a string. I fall, they're going to catch me. And everyone's like, ah. Like, so.
Zach?
So I had watched The Real World Paris, which was CT's original season. And then every now and then, when, you know, during 2-a-days and in college and stuff, like in between, they would just run reruns. And every now and then we'd turn it on, we watch a little bit, but like not like a diehard fan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like not like
just you're aware of it. That's
like if
it.
I was like nothing else is on throwing, because like MTV was kind of like our, like growing up, like you threw.
That was a big thing.
Yeah, TRL. So I knew of it. And I never really liked watching the Real Worlds. Like I always thought they were kind of boring, obviously besides CT's. And then and yours. I watched Jenna's too. But yeah, I knew of it, but I wasn't like a huge fan of it. But once I got on the Real World, I was like, now I can get on the challenge. So this is kind of cool. Yeah. So that's kind of, I became a fan then because I was like, it's like, it's in the realm of possibility now.
Absolutely.
Whereas before I was like, oh, this looks fun and hilarious and entertaining, but it wasn't something that I was like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. But so in retrospect, was it a vehicle to get onto the challenge, the Real World, or was it just like an opportunity that you took on?
Well, the Real World fell in my lap.
Right.
So I wasn't even thinking that. But after I got on the Real World, that's all I was thinking about because I was like, this is cool.
Yeah. Oh, and it was. You know, and that was before the money. And we talked about that last week is like, the money's big now. Back then, it was like the love of the game, which is sick. Yeah. You know?
You win, you get like, oh, yeah, 30,000. You're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Now they're like, the winner takes home $1 million.
Yeah, right.
Where was this during my win?
Literally.
You know, yeah. Here, go buy yourself some double cheeseburgers.
Right.
Now people are winning.
You get like McDonald's things and stuff.
I got Burger King gift cards and Subway gift cards, but no, when I won, I think the final check between four of us we split quarter. So $250 was what we split.
Yeah, so
that's still
60
pretty good.
and change.
It's beautiful, but it's not, you know, it's not $1 million. You know,
yeah,
so.
It's not even. I couldn't even buy a G-Wagon.
I was like, I could spend that. In
I couldn't even.
20 seconds.
At this point, I couldn't even buy a new car and a tank of gas with that.
Ain't that wild? Yeah. Ain't that wild? It's crazy. So okay. Here's another question I have for you. Is there someone that you've gotten along with on this show, but don't really care for in real life?
She's like Zach.
You said it.
I love that.
Yeah, my husband.
I mean, yeah, you probably. Well, I care for you now, but like at the time.
Yeah, when you guys first started, you're like, man, everything is all fine and dandy when we're on the show, and then as soon as we leave, I hate this guy.
Yeah, right. Drove me crazy. I don't know. Who would you think
that you got along with on the show? That I don't know. Let me hop inside your brain real quick.
Honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but Ashley is actually super cool on the show, even though she started some rumors and stuff and won't even get into
I'm surprised to hear her name out of your mouth.
I know. I am surprised too, but I don't care for her really. I don't think we care for each other outside the house, but one-on-one, she's a cool person. Yeah. Like, she's nice.
Yeah.
And she's not, you know, when you're just talking one-on-one, she's not conniving. She's not trying to.
She's not a psychopath.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah.
I would beg to differ.
Right. I know. So off the top of my head, I'd probably say her because we've had some, talks and one-on-ones, even with Nani and stuff, where I'm like, you know what, she is cool, but then nobody wants to work with her because she stole $1 million.
Right, and like I said, like she's undeniably good at what she does. She's good.
She's there for the money.
She's a good challenger. Yeah, right, she's a good challenger.
So you gotta respect it.
Yeah, and when you're in the show or when you're on the show, you got to work with people like that.
Right, exactly. As long as, you know, they don't screw you over. But
well, no, and here's the thing: if you get a chance to steal money, you steal it.
Why wouldn't you?
Because you know what? Listen. I made it to, I don't even know how many finals. I've only won one. And if I had an opportunity to steal the money, I would steal it from everyone.
Coming from Mr. Loyalty, I would
steal
Tony's name.
It from me.
I would steal it from her because guess what? It goes to the same place and then I can decide how it gets spent.
So can we dive into that? Because you talked a little bit about how you were super loyal to Tony, but now you're telling me like you wouldn't steal it from Tony?
I would not steal it from Tony.
There you go.
You gave me a few people that you would.
It was my guys I wouldn't steal it from: Tony, Jordan, Hunter.
That's okay.
I'd still steal it from Kyle. But I'd kick him some back, but I'd steal it from him just for the reaction. I'd steal it from her just
to embarrass
just
me.
to embarrass her, and then obviously it's going to benefit us both. But there's 3 people I wouldn't steal it from, and I wouldn't steal it from Nani. But besides that, like I'm taking it.
I love that.
But you would too. Who are you really gonna be like? And guess what? At the end of the day, if the person that you steal it from, it's a big deal. But if they can't sit down and think like they made the best decision for them in that moment, then they're lying.
You talk to about 3 people outside the house. So,
Right.
whoever you were partners with in the past, you'd probably steal it from because you talked to them today.
The only partner that I've had in the past, like I mean,
recently, let's just say.
I don't talk to any of my partners really on a daily basis.
So even Johnny and Sarah, I was there when he stole the money. I was sick to my
It's
stomach.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of hinting it to me when we were standing outside. I'm like, you wouldn't steal it, right?
That's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Then Sarah would come out and she's like, I'm nervous he's going to steal it. I'm like sweating. I'm like, he's going to steal it. But I didn't say anything. But yeah, then they don't talk. So you know what I mean? It's like, you could have been the nice person.
What loyalty do you really owe them?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I get it, honestly. And real quick, we talked about Nani, we talked about Kyle. Both of you guys liked our post. Jordan, you too. You guys, thank you so much. You're all welcome on the show. And maybe we'll talk about that down the road. Ooh. But thank you for answering that question. Let's see. We got a couple more here now. Who is the cleanest and the dirtiest challenger that you've ever encountered in the house? This is for both of you guys.
Ooh.
Cleanest. I got 2 people in my head already.
Who?
Jordan.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he's always bitching and complaining about how dirty the house is, and it's like he actually is.
And it's kind of scary. Me and Kayla left out a thing of peanut butter. I don't even eat peanut butter. I was just helping her make a sandwich. She left it out, and Jordan went wild. He's like, "Who left this out?" We were nervous. We're like, And he found out it was us, and he got mad. But
that's hilarious.
Jordan is definitely the cleanest.
I think another clean person would be Sarah. Sarah Rice.
Oh, I don't remember.
She cleaned the kitchen a lot on my first season.
Oh, everyone's disgusting. No one washes their dishes.
But no, there are some very, very far disgusting
filthy people, right? That's what I want to know. Who the filthy people?
I'm trying to think.
Do we not want to expose them?
No, I don't care. There's just a lot.
He's probably like, yes. He's like breathing heavy.
I'm trying to think.
We're trying to work with them next season.
Kyle's disgusting.
Kyle
is disgusting.
Yeah, he drinks soda in the middle of the night.
He wakes up every night and chugs a Diet Coke. Get this.
I love Diet Coke.
But
at 3 a.m.?
He wakes
Sometimes.
up. Dude, get this. One night, me and Kyle and Brad are downstairs. We're waiting to get like something like melatonin or something because they hand out melatonin like it's freaking Xanax. You have to ask someone for it. And Brad and I are just in the kitchen, and Kyle goes into the fridge, pulls out a Diet Coke, and he pulls out a package of 6 hot dogs. Like, like Pee Wee Franks or whatever, or no, like Ballpark Franks.
Right.
And we're just having a conversation, and he takes a plate and he puts ketchup and mayonnaise, like huge, on there, and just eats uncooked hot dogs, all 6 of them.
Oh, that is
one
foul.
by one, dipping them in mayonnaise, and then doesn't clean up his plate, takes his sleeping medication, and just goes upstairs, goes to bed. I'm not even kidding you. Brad looks at me and goes, "Did he just eat 6 uncooked hot dogs?" And by the way, we're in Spain. You don't know what those we're in, like, I don't know.
Probably not even hot dogs.
Probably weren't.
Yeah.
And
especially the ones
also,
they give us at least.
You're in a house with 30 people. Kyle's the type of person that when you get there, they go through your bags and they put them all on the front door. You're supposed to take your bag, take it up to your room, put it away. Kyle left his suitcases like in the main foyer for like 4 weeks and was just like clothes everywhere. And I'm like, dude, take your clothes upstairs. His clothes are strewn out over the whole house.
Yeah, just shirt here, pants here.
Kyle is literally the challenge pig pen. It's disgusting.
Did you tell him about what was up his?
Whoa.
So get this.
Can we know this? I want to know it.
Well, he said pig pen, so that kind of is dirty.
Kyle will co-sign this 100%. So vendettas, if you remember, we got flown in. They're like, "Oh, the challenge starts now."
Right.
So we had to go up that mountain or whatever. And I just remember like watching Kyle because I finished before him, and then I stood across from him all night, and I'm like, "Dude, this guy is running like he's got a corn dog shoved up his ass." I'm like, "What is wrong?" I'm like, "Why is this weirdo?" Because first of all, Kyle has no butt.
Oh my god.
None.
It actually like goes.
His hamstrings just go directly into his back. That's true.
You're not kidding.
He's got no ass.
That's
You know what? Johnny Bananas can talk about Kyle's ass for hours. We literally Kyle
or the absence of.
Yes, Kyle will walk into a room and Johnny will be like, "Kyle, just show us your ass," and then everyone will start laughing. But anyways,
like a line.
This guy's running like literally swinging his legs side to side, sashaying up this mountain, and turns out that Kyle hid from production that A, he has trouble sleeping, and B, he's a diabetic because he thought he wouldn't get on the show. So what did he do? He shoved his sleeping medication and his insulin needles up his ass to get them into the house and ran up Mount. Oh my gosh. Now I'm drawing a blank, but he ran up that mountain in Mount of Gibraltar with his medication for 6 weeks shoved up his ass. And get this. Then
Is this his first ever event?
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
God, Kyle.
That's why it's so funny that Rogan lost to him, because it's like, dude, you lost to a kid who had drugs shoved up his butt. But it gets even better. So then we're in the Redemption House. This is the next season, Final Reckoning. We're in the Redemption House, and I have a broken face, and we're in the backyard running, and like higher ups come out, and they're like, Kyle, you need to come talk to us. Because every night you go out, they do a full cavity search of your entire room, all your bags. Kyle was getting pulled over by production, and they're like talking to him, and he's looking really emotional, and then they hug, and Kyle comes up to me, he's like, I gotta tell you something. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm a diabetic, and they found needles in my shampoo bottle, and they thought it was heroin while we were out. He goes, but I had to explain to him that I'm actually diabetic and have been hiding it from him. And I go, well, what'd they say? He goes, well, first of all, they were really impressed that I was able to hide the fact that I was giving myself insulin shots. But he goes, my mom used to send my brother stuff in prison all the time, so like my family's really good at getting stuff into places. And then
This is a season and a half in, by the way.
yeah, season has, and then I literally sat there and I thought for a second. I'm like, well, how'd you get that stuff into Vendettas? And he goes, well, I shoved up my butt. And I go, is that why you ran up the Mount of Gibraltar like you had a corn dog up your ass? And he goes, that is exactly why. So not only did this kid end up going to the final that season, but he hid for an entire season that he was a diabetic, and he hid his insulin needles up his butthole for so we landed over 20. So we're talking 36 hours of this stuff is in his butthole.
Gotta be so uncomfortable.
We're talking like we sat in bleachers for hours. We went to a restaurant. We drove a bus for 6 hours to get from Gibraltar, which is its own little area, to Spain. And Kyle's just sitting there with this stuff up his butt. I don't know how you do that.
Training.
Now, I've also never had anything up my butt, so I don't.
Sure. I'm just kidding. Don't lie to the men.
Don't lie to the people.
That's hilarious.
No, but
Jenna with the jab.
so anyways, though Kyle would be my most disgusting challenger, and it's tough. Tony's pretty gross too, though.
I love that.
I
It's
don't
so
remember.
funny.
Tony doesn't clean up after himself that well.
All right. Well, my next question is, it's crazy to think about how you got onto the show from being associated with someone else, and you've become a huge fan favorite, far surpassing this guy. So why do you think people resonate so much with you so much, and why do you think you're so popular?
I think because I'm nice. I really do.
That's what I think.
My dad always says, he's like, everything fades. Your looks fade, just how you treat people is super important because that's all that they're going to remember. And I'm like, oh, and I always just kind of lived by that. And I just feel like I'm more relatable. Like, I don't screw people over as much, even though I feel like I would now, just knowing the game and everything.
Yeah.
I'm a little more real. I had relationship issues that people could relate to.
Yeah.
I was just very relatable, I feel like.
Well, one thing I loved is like you would always say like you guys don't know the real Zach. He's a teddy bear. He's so soft. He's
No
so
one ever
sweet.
believed me.
And it's life is a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
So we probably the people that are nice on camera probably have their not so nice moments off camera, and vice versa.
Oh,
The
yeah.
people that have their moments, their bad moments on camera, probably are way nicer. Okay, it's just the spectrum and the way that they like to portray it.
Right.
So to me, like, I think that's why everyone gravitates towards you, and you don't have, we have one enemy, which she's just a bitch, but other than that, everyone loves you.
I mean, a bitch is saying that's nice. We could say worse.
Okay, we won't. Maybe
We
we'll
won't,
save it.
but you could.
But no, I mean, you've been such a fan favorite and so popular, and everyone that's heard little rumblings about the possibility of you being involved with the show is ecstatic, and I'm sure they're really excited to hear from you now. So thank you for sharing. I have a couple more here.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing Zach to the Catholic faith. That lets me know you come from a very traditional family. And we talked a little bit about the traditions that you have on Christmas morning. But tell me a little bit about your family and if there's any other traditions that you wanted to share. And if not, no big deal. But I was curious.
Yeah, I mean, we always have like just little traditions. I mean, even just like Christmas Eve, my grandma used to get all of the grandkids, which is like 30 something of us,
Yep.
matching pajamas and like everything. Unfortunately, she passed last year,
Rest in
but
peace.
my mom's gonna keep it going. So
Absolutely. She's the new grandma.
right, and Zach gets his matching pajamas.
Hell
Every
yeah.
year.
A big snowman face this year,
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
but he
man.
participates. right?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Who's
better.
going to turn down free jammies?
Why not? I mean,
know.
hey, you know. Or there's nothing better than having your people, and you look to your right, to your left, and you're like, damn, like anyone that's in this room, like, you know, these are our people. So, very, very special to come from a big family. Do you miss Zach's long hair at all?
No. So he told me he was going to grow it out recently. And
No.
first off, not to embarrass you, you didn't brush it. There was dreads in it. Okay.
Of course there were dreads in it.
Then,
Duh.
like, if he would, like, hug me or cuddle me, like, it was all in my face. Like, we were sharing hair ties a lot. Like, it was very long.
That's the Zach that I grew up with.
But he
Just the
did look
long
like,
hair.
he did look like Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan, Thor, the list goes on and on.
Did you know he lived in a tree?
Really?
I lived in a treehouse for like a year.
Get out of a year?
No,
Yeah,
a tree through his living room.
Yeah,
It was,
it was like one of those. The people from that show, Ultimate Treehouses, built it. A friend of mine, like, you know, rich friend of mine, was like, "Hey, this is vacant," and I had just, you know, was in between spots. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll live there," and it was actually really nice for a while because
it
beautiful.
swayed when the wind blew. We were like this. He's like, "Oh my God, we're gonna have to go somewhere else."
Yeah, I had to
because
check
we're
my
gonna
phone.
fall."
I had to check my phone every night to see how high the winds were getting because if it was over 15, it was gonna be a rough night.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? You were like, "Guess what I just bought?" I'm like, "What? A tree house?" He's like, "Actually, yes."
You guessed it?
Yeah, because he already looked like Tarzan, so I always joked about him. Like, would you get a tree house? And he did.
And I brought it up before we got on camera. Like, he really, I mean, you know, you're a little leaner now, but back then, like, you really looked like straight Tarzan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a big boy.
Yeah, big boy. You miss that at all?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I always tell him, like, go on steroids, go get something. Because everyone's always like, are you feeding him? He's so skinny. But he just does so much cardio now,
No,
like
it's
basketball.
it's the Brady effect. Sometimes you got to go to plyometrics and it'll be a little bit more flexible and a lot alive, you know?
That what happened was I was like always sweating. I had to eat so much. It was like a full-time job to be able to eat that much. And then
You didn't snack. He didn't snack. And that was like my
Oh,
big
I
thing.
was-
I'm like, I feel uncomfortable snacking. This isn't going to work out. Like,
yeah, and what ended up happening was I was playing some basketball, and when I was 240, I'd get done and my knees would swell so tight I couldn't bend them
bet.
for like days.
Sheesh.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go from 240. I'm gonna go back down to like 215. And do a lot of running, jumping rope cardio,
Yeah.
and then I just started to get old. Everything started to hurt, so I was like, you know what?
everything's like cracking. It's, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably better for your golf game to, you know, drop the LBs. So
dude, I need some serious help with the golf game.
we do have a little montage coming out. By the time you guys hear this, it'll be out. So we had some fun the other Friday on the golf course. We did see you guys on All Stars, the one where you got hurt, and from the outside perspective, it felt like you know, that rekindled your love. It was so sad when you got hurt. We really felt like you were poised to win that season. Me personally, do you think you guys would have gotten to get back together if it wasn't for that season? And what was the vibe in that house with all the celebrities that weren't like familiar with the challenge environment?
I don't think we would have got back together if I didn't break my ankle. I know.
If you didn't break your ankle,
Yeah. You felt bad. That's what it was. And then you did. Do you
How he
wanna
came
hear-
to the hotel room, was like, "Are
yeah.
you okay?"
Yeah, and he checked on me every day, made sure I had my medicine.
She was there long after what it.
I should have been gone.
Yeah, so they like when
Really?
the goodbye was just for camera. She was there for
Yeah.
another like 2 weeks after that. So
Oh,
like,
wow.
I couldn't fly yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we hung out a lot. Like after I was done filming, I was just go hang out with her in a room. So yeah,
course.
probably if she wasn't on that show, probably not because that was me. I was coming back to make a comeback. Like I
Right.
had taken some seasons off, and then they were like, well, you know, so we'll put you on this one, see how it goes. So like that was like my coming back, and then
Yeah.
so if she wasn't on that one with me, we probably then you would have been on Vendettas then because you wouldn't have hurt yourself because you were supposed to be on Vendettas, but you hurt yourself. So we would have ran back into each other. So I'm gonna say no. I think that's the reason. But would we still be together if that didn't happen? I think yes.
I had to break my foot for him to come back to me, okay?
I brought up the
She
question.
faked it.
I brought up the question because I think yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
you
yeah.
I think you guys were always
Oh, you
crash
think yes,
course.
we should.
You would have gotten back together no matter what. From the outside
Mm-hmm.
looking in, you know, whatever either of you guys might have been looking for outside, what you had was so special and obviously manifested into two beautiful kids, a beautiful family. And I just believe in destiny, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I remember
it's
the-
a funny question to ask.
I remember the first time he texted me back. Oh God, the first time we broke up, he's like, "Oh, I've been working out." I haven't heard from him in like a year, and then sends a shirtless picture when I was on the beach, and like, it's the first time I heard from you. You ghosted me.
Send
And
me
then
a
we started
thirst trap.
talking.
Like, it's not
Oh, I
gonna work.
remember.
I was just
that was the
checking.
first time.
I was just checking.
Yeah, check the temperature. Why not?
Oh, yeah.
I love checking the temperature.
So funny.
All my exes. Is it hot? Is the water hot? Love that answer. Thank you.
All my exes.
Zach, man, tell me, and I want your opinion on some of the other celebrities that were in the house. Terrell Owens, man.
The most freakish athlete you'll ever meet, but obviously.
Weak-minded.
Totally.
Yeah.
He thought he was all slick. And you know what's funny is he's not as aggressive as people may think, but if you push him or you push his buttons the wrong way, and in that moment, CT was being like a father to like our team, and
Yeah.
TO pushed it too far. And I'll tell you what, here's the thing. Terrell didn't want a single piece of Chris.
Not one
No.
snack.
Oh yeah, no. And that's when I was like, yeah, you're badass athlete. Like he was a freak of nature, but he didn't want a single piece of CT.
It's crazy, man.
And
It's crazy.
And the best part was, I don't know if CT could have handled that any better. He had that guy so mentally twisted that he left the show the next day, got in his like Bentley and drove out, and we never heard from him again.
Insane.
Didn't you almost get like jumped by little Bow Wow's dad or something?
No, his security squad.
Yeah.
Really?
What was it? Was it Lil Bow Wow?
Was it Bow Wow?
It was
or Romeo?
Lil Romeo.
Romeo, yeah.
So the trampoline basketball game, I accidentally threw a bow,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be honest, no, I didn't mean to hit him.
Accidentally.
Yeah, it was an accidental. And afterwards, all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 like huge dudes come up to me and they're like, "Hey, did you throw an elbow?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Luckily, they reviewed the tape, and it was like I didn't even see him there. It was
totally incidental.
Yeah.
You being so athletic, you just.
it was a Draymond moment.
Yeah, one of those oopsies, didn't mean to type of things.
But but here's the thing too. It's like you couldn't handle it yourself. You had to bring in your bodyguards.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind
if
of
you
soft.
have bodyguards, why not use them? You know, why is he gonna?
there's the
mess up his
mafioso talking
I
right there.
guess, but
There's the mafioso.
They pay him
talking.
for something,
yeah. But yeah, no. So his security team was like cornering me, and they were like, "Okay, we'll look at the tape and then we'll decide." And they watched the tape. They're like, "That was incidental."
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, "Sweet."
There you go.
Well, that's nice that they believed you.
So Jenna, I asked Zach point blank last week, and I want to ask you point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go back on the challenge? Yes or no?
Yes.
Let's go.
What was his?
His was yes. Also,
Good,
yes.
good.
Yes. He
I
actually-
think he'd do better. I think he'd last longer, and I think he's more in shape and capable to go.
We talked about, and he said that you really want him to go on if
do.
the opportunity presents itself, and obviously, that's an amazing support system, especially you guys got kids. And he basically said, "I'll miss my wife, I'll miss my kids a lot, but I also know that I'll be doing an opportunity for them."
Right, and the thing is, too, say we both even went, it would be my parents or his parents watching. It's not
Yeah.
like they're going to be in a random, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to be so taken
Which
care
is
of.
a special experience for them and the grandparents as well too.
Exactly, they would love it. And I also think,
Who would really though? think about it?
but parents wise too. Everyone always says, we're doing it for our kids. Well, we're doing it for us too, because
Thank you.
It's true. It's like everyone's doing it for their kids. Of course we are. The money will go to them and everything, but we're still young. We still want to have fun. You don't have to give up your whole life.
I'm really happy you said that.
I'm not
because-
that young.
Yeah.
Well, you're pushing it, but you're still sort of young.
I'm not that young.
I'm happy you said that.
It's like Wedding
good.
Crashers.
Yeah, we're not that young. I don't want to say sleazy because it's not the word. But I'm really happy you said that, Jenna, because especially for me, like when I'm in a relationship or whatever, it's really important. And I'm talking to anybody, and I said, look, like, it's really important for me that you have an identity outside of girlfriend, outside of mother, outside of you are a challenger. You are vying for a championship and owning that. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, because think about it. Not that I donate, but I give up my body for 9 months to be pregnant. Then I give up my whole life to raise kids and stuff. But I have such a great support system.
Yeah.
His family, my family, him, whatever.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we go back?
You can do it all.
Right.
You
It's
can
for
do
a
it
few
all.
months. and then I'm with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, until they leave for college and never want to hang
Then
out
I
with
cry.
me again.
Like, but still, I paid for their college.
I know that's not true because I know both of you guys love spending time with your family, so
Yeah.
you can make jokes however you want. But
Right.
us having family roots, they'll always come back around because
absolutely.
they know what we do it for. I think it's about that time. I really, really, really hope that we're able to do some more work in the future.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully you had fun today, and
definitely.
and hopefully, we can work on some things behind the scenes, and I don't know, maybe you'll see more of these two.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, thank you all for listening and watching, and everywhere you're supporting. If you don't already follow these two, then you're lying. But go ahead and follow both of them on their socials, their YouTube, which they got some great videos from back in the day, and also when's the most recent YouTube video you guys posted?
Well, we haven't done
We
one in
need
a
to
while.
like.
A while.
We did the creepy stuff in the basement
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we need to start.
Yeah, and hopefully we can help you guys with some of that stuff too. Goat
Oh,
Media,
yeah.
baby.
Yes.
Follow Goat Media on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Subscribe and support us because we going to the top. We just got started. So thank you guys so much for coming to the show. We love you. And let's build some good stuff together. All right? We'll see ya.